Hey everybody, it's Rob Chevelle from Lit Soul. Hey, listen, a lot of cool stuff's going on. I'll just keep it down to one thing, but I don't know if a lot of people know this, but there's like 6 releases of Lit Soul albums, and I just wanted to show you real quick. This album here, it's called Seven Worlds. It came out in 2002. Wow. And it's like friggin' 15 years ago. It's unbelievable. But at that time, I was getting out of a band called Souls of Freedom. I was in another band before that, the Disbest Majority. I was also in a cult tribute band, and I really wanted to do my own thing. So I started writing some songs, and I came up with some songs, and I basically, wow, somebody's texting me here, sorry. And then I basically what I did is also collaborated with some other musicians. So there's like 12 songs. And so, a lot went into this. They're mainly demos, They weren't like totally professionally recorded. But I put it in a nice pretty dress, so to say, the packaging. That picture there was actually my mom took that picture. She's a great photographer, and she took that at her house. She was showing people that time, like a little party, a slideshow stuff. I've seen a lot of pictures before, but she was going through them, and all of a sudden that was there, and she kind of speeds on by, and I go, back up, what is that? And I knew I was making this album then. I was thinking of an album cover, and I just loved this. And this is Roger the third or something, and he's in Naples, Italy, in a church, and they have like about 7 or 8 kings in these nooks, and he's one of them. And it's like totally tough, like right up my alley. So I put that on the album. And that's also a picture she took in the back there. And that's in Naples too. But anyways, there's 12 songs. And, again, it's kind of demo-y. But, it's the first effort that I did with Lit Soul. So there's that. Lit Soul, 7 Worlds. It's, it's all rock. Some mellow songs too, acoustic stuff. And there you go. So that's the first album. And then the second album, some years later, this came out in 2005. So this is Lit Soul Poetry. It's basically all poetry I wrote, and it's accompanied with music and sound effects, which is pretty different. I don't know anybody else has really done this. But it's got 25 tracks, and it's 46, almost 47 minutes long and with poetry. That's a lot of friggin' poetry. I wrote a lot of this poetry at Barney's Beanery. I just loved that place in those days. I had like a jukebox you could actually play, and it was just fun, I go there sometimes on my own, and people walk up to me, what are you doing? I'm like writing poetry, and they're like, oh wow, and that kind of thing. So just saying. Now this picture I took, I kind of went along with my mom's, the picture, that theme. I made that for Lit Soul, and I took this picture in a cemetery in Glendale, and it's a tiny bit out of focus, but still I just took it, and it's just an awesome shot. I love it, and you can see it there if you go there and drive around and look. And then I took this picture of the back, and that's me laying on the grass, like on a grave or something. Not like on a grave, but like around the graves, and I was looking up in the sky. Look, it's a real cloud. There's no chemtrails. Isn't that beautiful? That's looking up from the ground through the trees. So again, there's 25 tracks. It's just, it's got acoustic guitar, like flamenco guitar, Spanish guitar. It's got waterfalls. It's got heavy rock. It's got wind. It's got all these accompanying sounds with the poetry. It's just really cool. So there's that. And let's see if I can open it up from inside. Okay, here we go. That's inside. So there's me. I take a picture of myself on a couch. I had this little I didn't have a cell phone, I don't think. There was a camera I had set up with a tripod, and I just clicked a thing there. Anyways, I signed this for somebody. Who's gonna get it. So, and there's the thing inside, and I won't take this out, but in here is all the poetry. All the poetry is all in there. So it goes out for like 4 or 5 pages. So it's really great packaging. And so that's Lit Soul Poetry with music. And then there's this album, and this album is called Lit Soul Libertine Dream. And this was like, I felt a lot better about this album. It was more better recorded, and you know, it's rock yet really melodic, and it's a lot of acoustic songs as well. So I took that picture as well, and that picture is it's a dude with a laptop. See the laptop? I'm just kidding. That's actually it's not Poseidon. That's Moses, and that's supposed to be the Ten Commandments right there. And this is in another graveyard over on the valley side. If you know where Ronnie James Dio was buried, it's the same graveyard. And that graveyard is very much dedicated to babies and women. I mean, which is, nothing's wrong with that, but it's just like that whole graveyard has nothing but babies and women. But then there's this. So when I went in there, I was like, I really can't think I can find my shot. And when I was driving out in my car, I saw this and I was like, wow, that's fucking cool. So I took that shot. I also took this shot, and that's from like a crypt or a gravestone. On the back it said Revolution, so that's right up my alley. So it's got 15 songs and put all there in you know, old writing and stuff like that. And you know, inside is also all the lyrics are printed inside. So if you can pull this out again, there we go. So all the lyrics are printed inside. Credits are there. CD. And there's a picture. What is this? Oh, it's a picture of me there holding my guitar. One of my old places there with a kind of a fisheye lens there. Anyway, so there's that. You know, I could get in so much more detail, but I don't want to like bore everybody. So there's that album. Then there's this album. Where's the CD? Let's Soul Birthday Poetry. Jim Morrison inspired me on this. He did a poetry reading on his birthday. I think it was back in 1969 or 70, or was it 71? Right around there. Pretty, you know, he passed away not too far after. But anyways, I just wrote a bunch of poetry. I have all these manuals I carried around with me over here. I got tons and tons of these. So I get my lyrics and stuff like that as well. So basically, I just one time said, you know, I got a bunch of poetry here. So I just went into the studio, brought a bottle of wine, and just read a bunch of my poetry. I also have a little bit of Morrison in here and a little bit of Bukowski in here. So I think this is about 45 minutes as well. So it's just in a modest, you know, sleeve here and stuff. It's just basically the poetry that I did on my birthday. Boy, and I think this was in 2007, something like that. Oh, and by the way, this album is 2008. Okay, so there's some years between this, you know. And then let's see what's next. Next is Lit Soul Love at War, and this is probably up to this point again. This is the best recorded. You know, different players in this, and now this picture I did not take. This picture I collaborated with Raymond Pilar, and he's a painter, and he does a lot of great paintings, and he's painted 2 backdrops for me that I've had on stage, and one's in a video as well. He's an amazing painter. Check him out. He's on my friend's thing, and you also check him out online. So this is Let's Soul Love at War, and he can tell you more about this, but I described what I wanted, and you know, what does Love at War mean with all the statues, and he came up with this, and he really helped me with this, and it's an amazing. All I know is some guy was 19 chiseled this out when he was, you know, way back when. We're talking a long time ago, Michelangelo days or right after that or something. So look at the details. See the fingers on the skin there? This is a very tall statue. So this has tremendous detail to it. I mean, that's art. I mean, that's incredible, especially back then. I mean, you know, today people are just doing it with their computers. This is actually somebody doing it with their hands, you know. So we took that and put that on the cover. You know, love it. And in the back, there's what's on here is 10 songs, and I get credits. You know, I had 2 people co-write a couple songs. One's Joe Petro, that song Push On Through, and then Joe Daguilas co-wrote Leather Steeds, and I wrote everything else and part of those songs too. That was on Miss Crazy Records. Let's see, inside we got I took this picture of a girl that's in the it's one of our videos called Stoner Rock. You could see her in there. She was on stage with us a lot, but that's all my stuff there. That's the Constitution that I have. There's my guitar, acoustic guitar. That's that's my gun. There's some other stuff in there, but she dressed a little scanty and sat there, and she's holding a gun, reading the Constitution. What more do you need than that picture right there? Sometimes, So, and now the lyrics aren't in here. Just a little more modest on this, but it's still a jewel case and all that kind of stuff. So, really proud of this. Totally rocking album. It's the biggest seller so far. All these, well, believe it or not, the poetry album with music has sold a lot. There's a whole underground for that. But so there's that, and then brings up. Okay, by the way, this was 2014. Okay, and then brings us to the current album. This is number 6, and this is Lit Soul, Your Crusade, and really proud of this. The official release is this month on the 19th. Come see us at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. We go on 11 o'clock. See the whole band there. Crank out a bunch of songs. We're going to play about 45 minutes of music. It's going to be heavy, awesome, great. And so this cover here was my concept as well. But Tony Hawley, he's on Facebook. He helped create this. And it's got a lot of detail to it. Just love it. It's just totally up the Lit Soul alley there. And of course, I titled my band Lit Soul, and also titled all these albums and Your Crusade and all that kind of stuff. So, I write most of the music on my couch, and bring it to the band and works things out. I mean, I probably write 90% of the music and all the lyrics, all the melodies, that kind of thing. And here's the back. And this is the current lineup, and great guys. Dano, Steve, Ty's been around a long time in my band, and he's played with the Doors, Alex Lifeson from Rush, Ian Asbury from the Cult, all that. So anyways, there's 6 Lit Soul albums. There's a little bit about them. They're all available at litsoul.com. This album is only $5.99, and check it out. Crank all these albums. It's definitely fun. It's a lot of history, and there you go. So there's 7 or 6 bodies of I'm already on the 7th album working on now, probably in my head, but so there's 6 bodies of music there. So check it out. Go to litsoul.com, pick them up, and come see us 2 weeks from tonight. It'll be January 19th at the Rainbow Bar and Grill 2018. Also check out our video to one of the songs on the new album. It's called You Bless My Eyes with Your Cruelty. It's on YouTube. I'll put it in the comments too. So there you go. All right, let it rock.